Lieutenant Marcus Reeves wiped sweat from his brow as he completed his third consecutive shift in the engine room of the Starship Horizon. The vessel had sustained critical damage during a skirmish with pirates near the outer rim, and someone needed to keep the fusion reactors from overloading while the rest of the crew evacuated non-essential personnel. "Human, you must stop now," came the concerned voice of Lyra, the ship's Velrani engineering officer. Her violet skin glistened under the harsh lights of the engine room, and her large golden eyes showed genuine worry. "You have been working for 18 hours without rest." Marcus glanced at the diagnostic panel, his calloused hands moving across the controls with practiced precision. "Can't stop yet. The plasma conduits are still fluctuating. If I leave now, we'll have a containment breach within the hour." Lyra's secondary arms gestured frantically, a sign of distress among her species. "But you completed your shift 6 hours ago. Then you volunteered for the emergency rotation. Now you are working a third consecutive period. This should not be possible." "It's possible if you have enough coffee," Marcus muttered. Adjusting another valve, the Velrani engineer approached cautiously, her antenna twitching as she analyzed his vital signs through her neural interface. "Your heart rate is elevated. Your body temperature has increased. You are exhibiting signs of extreme fatigue. Why does your species do this?" Marcus allowed himself a brief smile. "Because someone has to." He had served aboard the Horizon for 2 years, long enough to understand that humans were the oddity in the galactic community. Most spacefaring species had evolved on worlds with shorter days or possessed multiple sleep cycles. The concept of pushing through exhaustion was foreign to them. The Velrani worked in 4-hour increments with mandatory rest periods. The insectoid Krell could only maintain focus for 3 hours before their compound eyes needed recalibration. Even the robust Gorvin required frequent breaks to regulate their body temperature. Humans, however, could simply keep going. "Your physiology confuses me," Lyra admitted, checking her own console. "You have been monitoring 17 different systems simultaneously. Your reaction time should have degraded significantly, yet you have made no errors." "Adrenaline helps," Marcus explained, rerouting power from auxiliary systems. "When the stakes are high enough, the human body can tap into reserves it normally keeps locked away." "This is not normal," Lyra insisted. "I consulted the medical database. Sustained activity without rest causes cellular damage in most species. Cognitive function deteriorates. Judgment becomes impaired. You should be hallucinating by now." Marcus chuckled despite his exhaustion. "Give me another 6 hours. I might start seeing things then." The ship shuddered as another power surge rippled through the system. Marcus was already moving, his fingers dancing across the emergency controls. Years of training and natural human stubbornness combined into fluid motion. He bypassed the overloaded circuit, redistributed the load, and stabilized the reactor core in less than 30 seconds. Lyra watched in astonishment. "How did you react so quickly?" The alert had not even finished sounding. "Pattern recognition," Marcus said, his eyes scanning multiple screens at once. "I've been watching these readings for hours. I can tell when something's about to go wrong before the computer catches it." "Impossible. The ship's systems have processing speeds that exceed biological cognition by factors of millions." "Maybe," Marcus acknowledged. "But computers don't have instinct." He moved to the central reactor housing, where coolant levels were dropping dangerously low. The repair would require manual intervention, crawling through maintenance tubes barely wide enough for a human. For the larger Velrani, it would be impossible. "I'm going in," Marcus announced, grabbing a toolkit. Lyra's antenna drooped with concern. "The temperature in those tubes exceeds safe limits for human tissue. You will suffer burns. I'll suffer worse if this reactor melts down." Marcus pulled on heat-resistant gloves and activated his communicator. Bridge, this is engineering. I'm entering the coolant tubes. If you don't hear from me in 20 minutes, send someone with a fire extinguisher." Captain Torres's voice crackled through the speaker. "Reeves, you've been down there since yesterday morning. Let someone else take over." "With respect, Captain, there isn't anyone else. Lyra's too big for the tubes, and the rest of the engineering crew is handling the starboard stabilizers. I'm the only one who can reach the manual release valve." A long pause followed. "Make it quick, Lieutenant." Marcus squeezed into the maintenance tube, feeling the heat immediately through his uniform. The tunnel stretched ahead, illuminated only by emergency lighting. He pulled himself forward, using handholds welded into the metal, ignoring the burning sensation on his palms. The valve was located 70 meters in, deep within the ship's infrastructure. Most species would have given up after 10 meters. The heat was overwhelming, and the confined space triggered instinctive panic responses. But humans had evolved as persistence hunters, creatures capable of tracking prey across vast distances through sheer determination. They sweated to cool themselves, used bipedal motion to conserve energy, and possessed mental fortitude that bordered on irrational. Marcus reached the valve after what felt like hours, but was actually 12 minutes. His hands shook as he attached the manual override, turning the wheel with strength born from desperation. The coolant began flowing again, and the temperature readings stabilized. He transmitted the success to the bridge and began the agonizing crawl back. When Marcus emerged from the tube, his face was red and his uniform soaked through. Lyra rushed forward with a medical scanner, her concern evident. "Your core temperature is dangerously elevated. You have first-degree burns on your hands and arms. Your dehydration levels are critical." She grabbed a water container and thrust it toward him. "Drink this immediately." Marcus accepted gratefully, draining half the container in seconds. "How are the reactors?" "Stable," Lyra confirmed, though her tone remained worried. "You have now worked for 19 consecutive hours across 3 shifts. Human, this goes beyond dedication. This is self-destruction." "This is what we do," Marcus corrected gently. He pulled himself to his feet, swaying slightly. "My species survived ice ages, plagues, and wars because we were too stubborn to quit. We walked out of Africa on nothing but determination and curiosity. We sent people to our moon before we even had proper computers. Quitting isn't in our nature." Lyra's golden eyes studied him with a mixture of admiration and disbelief. "Your species is either the bravest or most foolish in the galaxy. Can't it be both?" Marcus managed a grin. The ship's intercom chimed. "Engineering, this is the bridge. The repair crews have completed their work on the stabilizers. We're ready to jump to FTL. Excellent work down there." Lyra responded before Marcus could. "Acknowledged, Bridge. Lieutenant Raves requires immediate medical attention." "Negative," Marcus interrupted. "I need to monitor the reactors during the jump. The system's still fragile." "Absolutely not," Lyra said firmly, her secondary arms crossing in a gesture of finality. "You have done enough. I will monitor the jump." "You said yourself you don't. Understand how I've been tracking the patterns. Then you will teach." Now, quickly, before you collapse." Marcus recognized the determination in her voice. It reminded him of his own stubbornness, which was oddly amusing. He spent the next 10 minutes walking her through the subtle indicators he had been monitoring, the tiny fluctuations that preceded major problems. Lyra absorbed the information with remarkable speed, her neural interface recording every detail. "I understand now. You were not simply watching the systems. You were learning their rhythm, their personality." "Exactly. Machines might be logical, but they're built by people. They have quirks." The jump to FTL went smoothly, with Lyra successfully managing the power distribution. Marcus watched from a chair where she had insisted he sit, his eyelids growing heavier with each passing minute. "I still cannot comprehend how your species functions," Lyra said once the ship stabilized in hyperspace. "3 shifts without stopping. You should be unconscious." Marcus yawned. "Now that the crisis is over, I probably will be soon. The human body is good at holding on until the danger passes. Then it shuts down hard. This delayed collapse response seems inefficient. Maybe, but it means we can push through when it matters most." His eyes finally closed. "Wake me if anything explodes." Lyra watched the human fall asleep in seconds, his breathing deepening immediately. She consulted her medical scanner again, noting how his vital signs began normalizing almost instantly. The human body was already beginning repairs, prioritizing recovery now that the threat had passed. She had studied humans since joining the crew, fascinated by these strange creatures who had emerged from a death world and somehow thrived among the stars. They were neither the strongest nor the smartest species in the galactic community. Their technology lagged behind the Valrani, their diplomatic skills paled compared to the Threen, and their lifespans were tragically short. Yet they possessed something unique. Call it determination, stubbornness, or sheer refusal to accept limitations. Humans simply did not stop. 3 consecutive shifts without rest. It should not have been possible. But humans had built their entire civilization on doing the impossible. Lyra made a note.